Hello everyone, I'm Melissa Steinour. Today I'm not in my usual locations that I bring you messages. Today I'm in my local graveyard. I used to live near this graveyard and it was such a special place for me to come and be alone with Jesus and just hear from him and talk to him in the quietness that this place provided. Years ago I was walking through this graveyard and I was reading the names that were on the tombstones, and the people started to become real to me as I started to think about what they looked like and what color their hair and their eyes were, what they did for a job, what their families were like. They just became so real to me. And I just became quiet before the Lord, and I had what I would call a vision because I was able to see two gates, and one gate I knew was the heavenly gate that led to heaven because I could hear music coming from it, and it was peaceful and beautiful, and just a strong desire to be inside that gate. The other gate was off to the side, and it actually was dark and dirty and covered with worms, and I could hear cries and echoes of pain coming from that gate. And I saw a young woman, and she definitely had passed away before her time, and she was standing before the heavenly gate, and Jesus was there. And I heard him say to her, "Depart from me, because I never knew you." And she said, "Oh, please, you got to let me in. I can't go in that other gate. You got to let me in." And he said, "Depart from me, because I don't know you." And she cried out one more time, and she said, "But no one ever told me you were real. If someone would have just told me that you were real, I would have accepted you." And he said, "I'm sorry, depart from me because I don't know you." And she was led away into the dark, dirty gate that was covered in worms. And I could hear her echoing cries as she said, "But no one ever told me." Next, I saw an older man, and he was kneeling before Jesus at the heavenly gate. And Jesus said, "Well done, thy good and faithful servant. You will enter this gate. But before you do, I need to let you know that I had called you to be a pastor, and you didn't do it. And because of that, thousands are not going to enter this gate." And the man began to weep and cry. And I knew right away that that was me. It was me anytime that I don't do what Jesus is asking me to do. The times where he asked me to invite someone to church, or share the gospel with that person on the street, or pray for that person that I'm seeing. Anytime that I don't do what he's asking me to do, that man was me. And that man is you. Anytime that you don't do what God is asking you to do. We live in a world today where people believe that their loved ones go to heaven no matter what. They believe that you can live however you want, and that when your eyes close in death, you're going to be in heaven. All roads do not lead to heaven. All religions do not lead to heaven. John 14:6, Jesus himself said, "I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life." Jesus is the only way to heaven. He's the only way to the Father. And, I believe that we're living in the last days, and that Jesus is going to come back for his church, for his bride at any time. Now, whether you believe that or not, the graves behind me are evidence that we are all going to stand before Jesus. Are we going to hear him say, "Well done, thy good and faithful servant"? Or are we going to hear him say, "Depart from me, because I don't know you"? As Christians, we have a great job to do. We need to reach all of our friends and family before it's too late. I just want to encourage you this week to let that sink in, to be faithful when Jesus calls you to do something. We all want to hear, "Well done, thy good and faithful servant." Share this message to those around you. Say yes when Jesus is asking you to do something, no matter how embarrassing, no matter how hard. And I'll bring you another message next week.